Hi, I'm Kim, and you're watching Kim Wilson TV. My channel is dedicated to helping victims of narcissistic abuse get free, stay free, and never have to return to that horrendous situation again. This video is part 4 in a bit of an exploration into the 4 steps of narcissistic abuse. In this video, we are going to discuss the discard. Now, the discard and that behavior where you're going along in life with someone, your lives are entangled, and you're just cut, just like that, like you never existed. This behavior from the borderline personality disordered individual you've been dealing with, or the narcissistic personality disordered individual, is very, very exclusive to them. No one else in the human population does this. There is no other group, no other collection of people that behave in this very, very bizarre way, throughout a relationship. Now, there are many reasons why this is happening, and we're going to take a look at that today. Now, one of the things that is most certainly happening behind the scenes is the narcissist, gravely, morbidly afraid of being abandoned, is in full-blown crazy noise and chatter-making, and the noise is getting louder and louder for them because the abandonment is inevitable now. You've seen what they are, or maybe you haven't, but in their minds, they very likely believe that you're kind of onto them, so they become highly, highly reactive. So they're, even if you had no intentions of leaving, they believe you are, so now they're really in overdrive with the lies, with the gaslighting, with the cheating. They're in full-blown panic mode, just scrambling to salvage what they see as a mortal narcissistic injury. It may not even be happening, but in their minds, it's real. So they are in absolute full-blown fear, reacting in every crazy way imaginable. They've become, so destructive. It's absolutely nuts. And this is where you're going to constantly be seeing that narc smirk. You're going to be seeing, that crazy, crazy look in their eyes. And yeah, you've all seen that demon look in their eyes. It's absolutely frightening. But you need to realize that at this point, everything they're doing is based in morbid fear. Now, if this is your first time through this 4-step cycle, this can be pretty frightening. If you've done it many times, you're probably so broken down and beaten from it at this point, you're just thinking, oh God, I got to get the fuck out of here as fast as I can. Now, you have to understand that this 4-step cycle in the narcissist's life is very real. This is absolutely very real. This is part of their foundation. This is what they obsess about. This is what their compulsions are about. They just want to keep going through this 4-step cycle. Now, with all that fear and stress and anxiety and sheer panic and, terror that comes upon them during this time, they know how to work their way through this. Now, you could be experiencing all of these same things, but you're not familiar with this. You don't know what the hell's going on. This is just part of the looping, and they just want to get it over with. They kind of detach. They're flinging all this horrible abuse and torment and confusion and oh my God, it's bad, and they're accusing you of stuff, but they know what's going on. They have no moral compass yet. They absolutely know exactly what they're doing, and yes, they believe all their lies. So they just need to get through this to the next step. Now, people will often say, well, they just move on to another victim. Now, sometimes you're still with them, and this is happening, and they just loop right back around again, and you still there are again the next victim, starting in that cycle again. Now, in 5 years, I've been through that cycle many, many times with Trevor, and the one thing I can assure you of, the cycles get faster and faster and faster with each go around. Now, you recognize how you're feeling. Well, you certainly recognize the confusion, the pain, the misery, the chaos, and all this stuff. Like, you certainly do recognize it. But the reality is this. The narcissist is feeling that same terror, that same, all of it. And you're thinking, how do we fix this? Where's the reset button? How do I stop it? But even if they wanted to stop, even if they cared for you as a source of supply as much as they could care for someone, even if they recognize that they are truly losing a powerful source of supply, they can't stop. They have no brakes. There's this obsessive compulsive need to get through the 4 cycles, and they're never stopping in the middle of the cycle. They're going all the way around, and they're looping and they're looping, and they absolutely are terrified by their own behavior, but they simply cannot stop. Now, the next step in this, of course, is this massive smear campaign. They're going to start calling you every name in the book. They're going to be calling you out to friends and family. They're going to be coming back and telling you that some person you don't even know thinks you're a piece of shit. They're going to be saying the most horrendous things about you. What they're actually telling people about you is all the things they actually did to you. More confession, more confession. So part of the smear campaign, as they're losing you and losing the relationship, is they need to justify what they're doing in their own crazy making minds. So saying that you're horrible over and over and over again reinforces to them why they're going through this absolute cycle of fucking mind fuckery and insanity. Now, in addition to them needing to justify all the horrible things they did to you with this smear campaign, the smear campaign is also a way to reposition the mask, make sure that they're not going to be exposed, make sure the lie is still safe, help create the illusion of someone who's been victimized, you know, so they can take this into the next phase of their insanity. Now, they truly, truly do not want to be exposed throughout any of this, so expect the smear campaign to be pretty fucking rough. And just know that throughout the entire smear campaign, all they're doing is confessing. They're only confessing their acts. They may be saying it's you, but truly it is a confession. And their lies and manipulation and covert behavior very commonly does catch up with them. Now, a lot of friends here at Kim Wilson TV have made comments saying, hey, I was discarded, but I'm not being hoovered. Now, this is where some real crazy shit starts happening. The discard is a form of hoovering. That's what they're doing to you. They have actually launched a battle strategy against you, and what they're hoping is going to happen is you will become combative in this fight. Discard is a form of communication. They're absolutely communicating with you. They're just communicating with silence. This is silent hoovering. It's punishment. Now, I know to victims, the discard looks like they just simply forgot about you, but that's far from the case. They are in a tremendous amount of absolute morbid fear right now, absolute morbid fear. They know what the cycle's about. They would love to throw the brakes on at some point, but they can't. This is really part of all that chatter and all that insanity that goes on in their mind that separates them from the rest of humanity. It's the only illness of its kind that does this. This is not like schizophrenia, where they're hearing voices from the outside being directed at them. All this chatter and noise is going on inside. They're absolutely morbidly afraid of abandonment. They are scared to death. They are reacting in the craziest motherfucking ways to their fear. The discard is a form of silent hoovering, hoping that you will start groveling your way back or something. You know, they cut you off so you can try and crawl your way back to them. Look, if you've been through steps 1, 2, 3, you're going to be hitting step 4. So this is where you may be waking up and saying, this is not what I want for my life. I want better than this in my life. And you can initiate the final discard, because if you've been through the other 3 steps, sure as shit it's coming. Whether you leave or you stay, it's all going to be bad. It never gets any better with these fiends. And leaving and getting to a safe place of absolute calm and tranquility where you can meet someone who is going to be a wonderful partner to you is always going to be your best bet, because this will never stop for them. It can't stop. They simply cannot stop it. Now, this is the irony and the absolute insanity in all of this. Victims feel absolutely crushed and broken from the final discard, but you have to understand that to you, or to the narcissist, you are not real. You are an extension of them. You've never left them. You're just a toy, a doll they've set on a shelf, and they keep an eye on it, and they'll maybe, you know, brush a little dust off now and then with the odd text message or whatever, and then when they decide, they'll just go and pick up the doll and play with it again. Well, that's when you're supposed to agree to go back to him. Now, read the comments. I went back to my narc after no contact for 10 years. He started hoovering me again. 20 years, 25 years. They're never going to stop. There is no such thing as the final discard. It's silly, actually, because the only one that can make this silent form of hoovering the end and to terminate it once and for all is you. It'll never end for them. You'll always be the doll on the shelf, like unless they die. You will always hear from them again. They're always going to be stalking you on social media and things like that. You're a possession. You're now part of the narc harem. That's what happens. You've been demoted or something like that. Your best bet's always going to be to leave. Don't look back. Just, you know, clear your mind, clear your heart. Let's get some healing going and let's find some real human beings to love, because this shit ain't working for nobody, guys. I'm Kim. You're watching Kim Wilson TV. Bless your heart, guys. Love